Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the final session on the SMPTE stage for the first day of MPTS 2026. For those of you who've not met me, I'm John Ellerton, Chair of SMPTE UK, and thank you for joining us at what is very nearly beer o'clock, but we have one more to go. So please welcome to the stage Dennis Quant, Research Assistant at Rhine University of Applied Sciences, to talk about Machine Learning Framework for Automatic News Clip Composition. Take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, and hi everyone. I'm Dennis Quant, Research Assistant at Rhine University, and during this talk, during this session, I'm talking about our machine learning framework about news clip composition. After some introduction slides, I explain our own developed machine learning model, and following the theoretical part, I'll show you the complete framework we built around the model, so that professional journalists can test it in their newsroom. Okay, let's dive in. For our research, we defined a news clip as a sequence of video shots with a voiceover, which is normally a news article written by a journalist. In our project, we're considering news clips with a length up to 2 minutes. And since younger generations prefer visual content over text, the video news consumption has been growing steadily. So this leads to the issues for the news broadcasters that they must produce more and more video contents, but still keeping their quality standards. So that just everyone gets a feeling and knows, to be sure to know what I'm talking about, here's an example of such a short news clip.
These rockets here send satellites to space that can be used to collect data, telecoms, and Earth observation. In its 7 years here, the firm behind it has managed to raise some $2.6 million in funding to develop hybrid rockets that are non-explosive. But it has been sending the rockets elsewhere for testing because of space constraints in Singapore. Still, the island state remains a fertile ground for research and development to take off.
Okay, so the production of such a news clip contains several steps. After screening the footage, a journalist or video editor needs to select the shots from the pool of footage, which you can see in the blue boxes. They need to select the shots so that they align with the news article content. You can see the news article in the yellow boxes. But during this selection, he also needs to think about the sequence of the shots by following video editing rules. So most times the news clip starts with an establishing shot, which is mostly a wide shot, giving introduction to a place where the news takes place or about the topic. But you also need to continue thinking about the shot sizes and the montage of them, because they need to change. So you can imagine it's quite boring if you see a wide shot after wide shot after wide shot. So you must change the shot sizes, and also they have some tasks. So just to give an example, a close-up leading the viewer's eye to the details of something is happening in the images. But they can also control the rhythm of the news clips by using the camera movements. So for the news clips, most times we want to use still camera movements or no camera movements to ensure neutral storytelling, but sometimes we want to loosen it up with a pan or with a zoom. So the journalist and the video editor need to think about all this, and as you can imagine, this is quite time-consuming work, especially when you're producing several versions of a news clip for different platforms for the same news clip. Therefore, we developed and trained our own machine learning model for 2 tasks. So first, our model learned to select shots matching the news article content, and second, also sequence them while considering the mentioned video editing rules. And as I mentioned before, we also built a framework around it with an interactive user face so the journalists can test it in their newsroom. Okay. Coming to our model architecture. So we're using a transformer encoder-decoder architecture as a basis. And now we're going through it step by step. So we start with the mixtures of experts encoder. Yeah. This one. So our encoder takes two inputs. So the first one is the text features you can see in the yellow tokens at the bottom, and the second one are the shot features in the blue tokens. The special part here is in the shot features. It's a combination of several feature modalities. You can link each feature modality to one of the mentioned video editing rules. So we have the first one, it's the red one. We're using clip features from OpenAI to describing the content of the images and also of the text. We have a custom-trained VGG classification network describing the shot sizes of each shot. And the third one is also a custom-trained classification model to just describe the camera motion features of each shot. So we're describing each shot in three ways: content, shot size, and camera movement. These features then passes a multi-head cross-attention layer at the bottom, just to align the text and all the shot features. So we can link how the content of each shot is related to the text. Then each feature is fed to an own individual expert. So we have one expert who only assesses the content, a second one who only assesses the shot size, and the third one who's only assessing the camera motion. At the end, the encoder outputs an aggregated feature representation for each shot in the footage and how each shot is correlating to the text. Our decoder then uses these feature representations to predict the final sequence of shots, which is then, at the end, normally spoken, the news clip. So the decoder starts with a start of sequence token, the SOS token, and then predicts sequentially shot by shot until it predicts the end of sequence token, the EOS token. The complete model is trained with the loss function based on cross-entropy loss. To test the model, we conducted a large-scale survey with over 2,000 participants. Each of the participants watched 3 news clips in 4 different versions. So we created one news clip where the shots were randomly selected in the footage. A second one where the shots are only selected based on their clip features, so only on the content features. The third one was composed by our model, and the last one were the human reference, which was professional edited news. The participants were asked to rank 8 statements from 1 to 6. The first statement was: the audio track matches the visual material. The second: the scenes in the video illustrate all the important information in the report. Third: the video appears to have been professionally edited. Fourth: the report is similar to reports I'm familiar with from video news coverage. And fifth: aspects of the report seem inconsistent or incorrect. Sixth: I'm likely to remember the report. Seventh: the video makes the report more interesting for me. Or eighth: the report triggers emotion in me. So I hope you can see the colors, but the most important is the blue line. This is our model. And slightly above, there's a pink line. This is the human reference. I just see it's hard on the screen, so sorry for that. But as you can see, our model, compared to the results of our model compared to the reference algorithms, shows an improvement. And sorry for that, but we have overlapping confidence intervals with human reference. So that tells us that it's hard for the participants to distinguish our news clips from the ones edited by the human ones. So we were happy with these results, but we also wanted to bring our model into newsrooms and get it tested by actual professionals, which, as you can imagine, are the hardest critics. So we built a framework, a 3-step framework around our model. We can deploy either on-premise or over AWS. So first, the footage is uploaded and pre-processed and analyzed by AI models for shot boundaries, shot types, shot size types, camera movement, and all the visual features. Second, then you're going into the project side. You can submit a news article and select the footage, and then generate a news clip with our model. The model then provides an edit decision list with 3 ranked choices per each news article segment, so that the journalist at the end can have the last choice and can swap shots per segment. And lastly, the system auto-renders the first cut, and as I mentioned, then the user can refine it. This is how the project interface looks. So this is the user interface. We have on the A, we have the input panel for the news article. B is the preview card for the rendered news clip. And C and D is the timeline control and the timeline panel where you can swap the shots. I also brought you a video where you can see me composing a news clip about heavy snowfall in Seoul. So yeah, just starting. So here you can see me while I just copy paste the news article because I was lazy. In the media browser, you can browse all the footage which is uploaded and already pre-processed. If you hover with your mouse, you can see a preview of it. Yeah, there I select some of the footage we had. Yep. Takes a moment. I think it's up to 6 videos. So, and this is the last one, which was related to the news article. I also put, just for demonstration purposes, I put 2 other footages also into the selected footage. As you can see here, it's about protests in Turkey. So you can see that our composition model does not choose them. So yeah, then you press generate, and the model takes time. So the video is real time, so there's no cut in it. So it takes up to 1 or 2 minutes, and then the composition is ready. It takes 1 moment. Then you can see at the bottom the timeline panel will pop up, and then for each news article segment you have 3 choices. So we're splitting. Yeah, as you can see here, we're splitting the news article into segments, so it's easier for the journalist to see the alignment. The first cut is auto-rendered while it's still rendering. I'll show you here the thumbnails. We also put an AI-generated voiceover over the video, so it's easier for the journalist to curate a video. That's one. I think it should be finished anytime now. Yeah, no. Now you can see the result.
South Korea is battling a second day of heavy snow on November 28th, with capital Seoul receiving the heaviest November snowfall on record the day before. At least 4 people have been reported dead, and more than 200 flights cancelled or delayed. More than 40 centimeters of snow piled up in parts of Seoul by 8 in the morning, with heavy snowfall causing multiple traffic accidents. Authorities have urged residents to refrain from operating vehicles and engaging in outdoor activities. While some residents welcomed the snow, others expressed concern.
Okay, and so now if you're not happy with this first cut, you can also go through each segment, like here, and then you can swap, and you see the 3 ranked choices of the AI of our composition model, and then you can swap them. And then I think I do it with the last one as well. Yeah, if you're more happy with these shots, you can swap them, and then just easily re-render the video and export it. Yeah, I think this is just now the same one. Okay. To conclude, our transformer model accelerates news clip editing by taking less than 5 minutes on a single GPU for composition. It composing engaging news clips coherent with professional video editing rules. Qualitative feedback showed that professional users leverage the first draft to accelerate their production workflow in their newsrooms. And the output form of the model and the interactive UI supports editorial agency, because we didn't want to produce a black box AI and just put it out. Yeah, and just one last thing. So we're currently looking into licensing and production options. So if you're interested, feel free to reach out. Thanks for listening, and any questions? Yeah. So I think she's bringing a microphone.
I'm just curious, since there's no other questions, can this be used for, say, like non-news? Can this be used for, say, non-news applications? Like, say, for example, you wanted to put together a satirical, like, news. Would it be able to realize that you're trying to be a bit more satirical and suggest certain clips, videos, options, etc.?
I think this is the more difficult part in it. So this model is especially trained only on news clips. So yeah, for this one, it will be only able to just produce neutral clips. Yeah. Yeah.
G'day, mate. So, I guess when we're producing this sort of content, one of the things that would be very normal is to have certain people be talked about in these pieces. I'm assuming that the software can't currently recognize certain people who would need to go in certain places in a script.
Yeah.
So, in terms of editing it after the fact, when it gives you those options to choose from, wouldn't you need to apply the information that you have about the exact people who need to be in those positions? Do you drop that in? Can it handle those sorts of editing decisions?
Yeah, so this is at the moment one part of our research, because we recognize the same, so we don't have like this nice natural storytelling, so people are coming over and over and are recognized. So what we're trying at the moment is, so for some we can also put interviews into it. So mostly we can put them in. And mostly what you see in news is, if there's an interview person, you can see it either beforehand or afterwards. So in this, what we're trying to achieve with some face recognition software, we are using the face embeddings and also extracting the face embeddings in the shots itself, so we can align exactly that, so we can come back to the people we already seen in the news clip. Yeah.
Oh yeah. When you've tried this out with news operation, are you able to say who's tried it and who is part of the experiment, who is part of the trial?
Sorry, hard for me to understand. Sorry.
What was the news organization that?
We worked with one organization from Germany and one from Singapore.
Do you know? Are you able to name them?
Yeah, so it's a Media Corp. I think you've seen the name on it, and the other one was Sat.1 Bavaria. Yeah. Yeah. I think over there. Just around the corner.
I noticed when watching back the rendered edits, it seemed that most of the shots had a similar timing to them. Is that predefined how long each shot is, or is it able to detect, like, if you have a really stunning, amazing shot that lasts for 30 seconds, would that be recognized?
Yeah, so it would be possible. I'd say it like this. We put it in as parameters for our framework. So because when we recognize it, like the timing or the length of the shots varying from news broadcaster to news broadcaster, and some want shorter cuts, some want longer shots. So yeah, at the moment it's possible for us to put it in as a parameter, and yeah, but it's more thing of the model takes frames, and then we need to combine them. So yeah, but it is possible. Yeah.
Sometimes a news story is a single shot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry for going again. Blame yourselves, everyone, for not putting your hands up. So, in terms of editing these sorts of productions, I noticed that there were no audio upshots, for example. Is that something that the software will take into consideration in future iterations, or is it something that can possibly happen already when we're creating these stories?
Yeah, so in a perfect world, I shown you we're using 3 types of features for our shot, describing it. In the perfect world, I would use 5, 10, 15, as many as we wanted. But the more feature types or modalities I'm using in my model, the more data I need to train it. So that's at the moment the bottleneck. So if the data set is getting bigger, I'm using more feature modalities in the future. Yeah.
Just continuing on from that previous question, have you considered ensembles or similar to include audio in the future at all, or anything like that?
Yeah, we considered it, but yeah, so it takes a lot of time, and still want to do my PhD
yes.
next to it. So yeah,
I understand.
I think we're gonna. Okay. Thank you, everyone.